Welcome to another Liquid Bullet Productions. This is part 2 with Mr. Lew Yates.
Nice to meet you again, Lee.
Thank you, Lew. Thanks for coming again.
Nice, long time no see. It's a pleasure.
How did you find working with Colton back in those days?
He was all right. He was all right, yeah.
So was that his first job on the doors, or was that?
Yeah. They used to come in, him and his mate, Johnny Butler, and they'd come Saturday, and they'd come in, and they'd come walking along towards the door, and I'd be on the door somewhere. I said, all right, lads, who you been kicking and running away from tonight? You know what I mean? Today, like, because he was in that slot, wasn't he? Yeah. And, Johnny was more quiet than Carlton. But Carlton was all right. He was always there for me. He was always expected of me. He'd get Lew all the time. Wherever I went, it was always that. I suppose that's why you're getting paid more than anybody else. That's why
Can I just jump back to, I just want to get it out of you, I just want the details of the Roy Shaw fight. It really interests me.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of stuff.
Well, I saw him, before I fought him, he was fighting ex-pro for Pally where I fought him. So I went in there, and then they saw me in there, he's lot, and it's a badly copied thing here on YouTube or whatever. And anyway, so Lew Yates, there's Lew Yates in the audience. Lew Yates, get in the ring, please. So I got in the ring, and he said, yeah, Roy's next fight, and I saw Showy on the bell, because it was all a setup, you see.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? So, and I saw him, I fucking saw red. Fucking, are you wanker? Get in here! Come on! I'll have you now. And he's looking at me, couldn't understand me, because most people were frightened of him, see? And I get it in, you fucking wanker. And everybody's going, Louie, Louie. And he was packed in there. And anyway, he didn't move. I said, yeah, I really slagged him off for minutes. And everybody was loving it, because he just sat there, didn't know what to do. I got in the ring, and he filled in with all of his mates and everything. And there's Joey Carrington, his manager, who could have a row one time. He come over to me, hey Lew, none of that, try to butt me, right? So I'd sit with bang, I've done him. I've knocked him from here to the ring, over to the ring there. And he told me later on I'd knocked all these gold fillings out, years later. It cost me so much to get on my filling. But he stayed away, and then I had a big fat woman. Oh, I had 3 blokes hanging on my leg here, because I was near the rope. Roy's mates hanging on my leg, so I was trying to punch them through the ropes, right? And the rope filled up. Roy got in, but he wouldn't come anywhere near me. He stayed at the other side of the ring. And this big fat woman in the audience shouting like, you big bully, you fucking big bully, and all that going away. So anyway, I got out of the ring and I had to go to her, and I turned around, and then Royce come to the ropes with Carrington. I said, get down here, come on, we'll have it now. Get out the ring, come on. And he wouldn't, he really didn't like me at all. No.
So how long after that did you actually get in the ring and have to fight?
Oh, I chased him for 5 years, Roy.
5 years, really?
5 years I was after Roy. Yeah, from when I went down to actually fighting him, I was about 76, I fought him in 81. Yeah, 5 years I chased Roy. And it was only when I got fatter and heavier that he thought he'd do me. And I'd done him in that second round. He was gone. I was going to chip him because there was only 3 ropes then. Yeah. And I hit him some lovely punches, just short, boom, 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 boom. And I kept putting my hands out. Well, Roy, is that all you've got? Fucking hell, Roy. So I hit Roy, and you could see him. And the more he got, the more tense he got and everything. And I boxed his head up. And I just caught him with some lovely uppercuts and loop over the top, bang, 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 bang. And he's going, and his head, I couldn't believe it. His fucking legs went, and I thought, I couldn't believe it, he'd gone so easy. Yeah. It weren't really heavy punches, but they banged on target. And he went and hit the ropes, he slipped under the top rope, and I was going to tip him out the ring. I was going to throw it out the ring, and he'd gone out easy. Because he was mostly over there, hanging out, most of his body was over. And I thought, no, they'll disqualify me and get out of it then. And then they rung the bell. That was the 3rd round, that was, yeah. 1 minute, 12 seconds of the round to go to save him. Yeah?
Is there any footage of that anywhere?
No, that's what we were saying.
Yeah,
There were 3 or 4 cameras there.
Yeah.
And Peter Costa said, no, they must have said, well, we don't want that. It was bad for Roy, wasn't it?
Yeah, of course.
So with that fight you were saying before, you had to put a lump sum down to get?
Yeah,
the
all
fight.
my mates put it all together, got 10 grand, and they lost it all.
So really, it was probably a money.
Yeah,
game
because
fight,
of that,
wasn't
but
it?
it was all frightened of it a lot because of guns and everything else, a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them were handy fellas, but they didn't want to get involved with that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I stayed behind, and yeah.
So do you think that's why they pulled the fight short to save him losing the money and losing
Oh,
the
he's
fight?
gone. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, he wouldn't come out. Hey, no, fucking hell, he was gone. And he was only like 4 feet from the corner, from his corner, and his legs would go everywhere. And I saw him, I looked at him. I couldn't believe it. Yeah.
And they stopped the
He
fight.
would
and
never fight me after. I
they
seen 4 times.
Stopped the fight saying you couldn't carry on because of a cut or something.
Oh, there's no cut. I've got photos of it. Slight marks on my eye, nothing, not a cut at all.
So it's just a fiddle.
Yeah, none of my mates wanted to get involved in a scuffling though, I don't think. I had the crassy lads and that with me, but they didn't want to, they want that, I think because there were shooters about probably, and that, but I stayed behind after, and I cobbled some, yeah.
Did that ever get written about in the books and that as well? Was that just
Yeah,
buried?
yeah, it was in Time Out magazine, I think it is. And he slagged me off, the writer, because they had the writer before. They had it all lined up, and he slagged me off in the thing, the writer. And I don't know if he altered the round or something. I couldn't believe it. And he used to go up Stringfellows, because my mates up Stringfellows said, Lou, he comes up here. Come up, he said. And you get him, you get him. They'd already had a go at him, I think, about it.
Yeah.
And they only a little twerp. Yeah.
And how was the crowd back in them days? Obviously, I've seen some of the videos on YouTube of Lenny McLean and that, and a lot of illegal stuff goes on as well, doesn't it? Crowd fights, and the fighters are more like headbutting and all sorts, stamping, and was that allowed, or was that just sort of?
Yeah. It's
sort of just let it
entertaining,
go?
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what they liked in them type of thing.
Yeah. I can't remember what
was
fight there was. There was one with Roy Shaw actually. I think it was Lenny McLean who was stamping on him.
Oh no, that's Donny the Bull Adams.
I was that one.
He wouldn't fight me, King of the Gypsies. And after I had that fight with Roy, I wanted him. I would have slaughtered him, and he wouldn't want to know. He didn't want to know neither. And no, yeah, that was Donny the Bull. And they was at it in prison with each other. They were both like trying to rule the prison what he was in, and then that's how it was arranged. And at first it was arranged in a tent, and the old Bill made it, stopped it.
Blimey.
Because it was all illegal then, you know, he was going to Burfist, see?
Yeah.
So they arranged it so that, and then the way they got rid of it, away with it really, was say that they're doing it for charity. They probably give them 300 or 400 quid.
Yeah.
So
just to
doing
get
it for a
around
charity thing, and that's how they got away with it.
Got you.
That's all they did all the time after that.
So how many fights of them did you have in the end? The sort of.
I didn't have any
one?
after that.
That was the last one, was it?
Well, Lenny didn't want to know me. Cliff Fields pulled out of me. Nobody else wanted to know. So I had nobody to fight.
Got you. What do you think they were just ducking you because like they've watched the fight with Roy and?
Yeah,
so
probably,
you get
and my
a bit of him?
reputation and that. I was go bang, and I was very quick, even though I was overweight then. I was quick and.
Did you find back in them days, obviously, you know, nowadays, if you get like a fight in a local town, they sort of let the ones that are selling the most tickets sort of get the upper hand, don't they? Was that like that back then as well? It seems like the sort of thing.
What do you mean as that?
So like, obviously Roy Shaw was the big name, so it was his hometown, so he probably had more people there selling tickets.
Yeah,
so
because I'm a northern, wasn't I?
that's what I mean. Was it more
North versus south, wasn't it?
like back in them days, quite sort of fixed as well, if you like?
Well, it was fixed because they were doing it all the time. It was
Yeah.
there a lot. Joey Carrington, Joey Pyle, the gangster fella. What do you mean? Clever man, Joey Pyle, evidently. He was in Whitemore for a long time, wasn't he? Yeah, it was all the setup and and that was it. There was nobody else doing it by that day. They were the big ones, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was fights everywhere when he went them places. Cliff, what was his name? Light heavyweight, Southern early light heavyweight champ, I think. I remember mucking about with him one day and everything. I lost my rag with him at the rooms. I said, come outside. But when I've been mucking about with him, I was always quicker and bum places, punches, just slapping each other and digging each other. And he wouldn't come outside, he bottled it completely. And Peter Costa's wife loved that. Peter said she loved it because she didn't like Phil, I mean his name was. Yeah, but he was all right, Phil, after eventually we got friends, but he was loud.
Yeah.
And I don't like loud people.
What was your sort of training regime for them sort of fights? What was your sort of daily training?
Oh, well, it was for the short fight. Well, I was doing that 3.5 mile, that's all, every day. Not like I was when I was younger. 3.5 mile. Then we do sprints. Then we do press-ups. You know. Then we go down to the gym, and then we work out on the bags and probably move around with the classy lads and that. You know, I found them easy hits.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop.
Was you training at like proper gyms then?
Yeah,
see a
proper
bit
gym.
of footage of
Yeah,
Lenny. It was just
ringing like this. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a bit of Lenny's footage. It was just pretty much a bag hanging up at
Was it?
back of a garden. It looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you trained at a proper
No,
gym.
it was a proper gym. Yeah. Well, his sons were boxers, amateur boxers, good boxers they were. Hattons, the name was, and they used to sell vans and motors, mainly vans, I think. Nice fella, really nice guy. Because he had a bag though, a red leather bag, and I thought, oh, that's a lovely bag. It was nice, medium weight bag. And I said to him, he said that was Billy Walker's. And Billy Walker was a blonde bomber years and years ago. Do you remember him? No.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he knocked out that great big black fellow in America versus England, amateur. Cornelius somebody. He went down lovely, sent it right in the pit of the stomach. Boom. He was out completely. And then everybody wanted to sign him up. He had been knocking people out. He used to work at Tiffany's.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, on the door. All them blokes I met and that knew him.
Yeah.
And then they signed him up, yeah. And he fought, I think he fought Cooper and things like that, but he never got onto world level. But he could bang, you know, the blonde bomber they called him.
Yeah.
He's about 6'1", that big lad. But,
yeah. You also written your own book, haven't you?
Yeah.
Called The Wild Thing. Can I just ask you first, how did you get the name Wild Thing?
Ricky, one of the blokes that went up the when I worked up room at the top, and he was thinking of a title, and Ricky said, I've got it, Wild Thing, he said, Wild Thing, he's fucking wild. And that's how he stuck.
Yeah, it started, yeah.
Yeah, Ricky, yeah.
Yeah.
He's dead now, bless him. Yeah, I'll tell you a little story, because I used to be always, and my knuckles would be cut sometimes because he was open, I put a little plaster on my hand, and I still do it, but so I didn't want, getting an infection. And I used to have these nurses come up, right? And the big tubs where the lads stood and they all had a drink and all that, and other people drinking around these tubs. Well, they were big concrete pipes off the road, but the really big ones.
Yeah.
About 4 foot across. And these girls come across, and I was telling Ian, and you probably don't remember the Honey Monster.
Honey Monster, yeah, the
Yeah.
sugar puffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they brought one in, and it's brought down. I've still got it, but it's perished now a bit. And they brought it and gave it me. He had plasters all over his knuckles. And he sat it on the edge of the thing. It was good of them, because we didn't used to charge them. We didn't used to charge them for rents, we thought, not the nurses and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just ask you a little bit about your book?
Yeah.
Lou? So
Yeah.
What is it? Your life story, your book, The Wild Thing?
Yeah, it's as much as I could. There was lots that weren't in there. That's why, I suppose, in a way, like you can't call it really mopping up, but things that didn't go in there.
Yeah.
And I thought they didn't. They said to me, the publishers, Bill Campbell, at Mainstream Publishers, said to me, Lou, we can only put so much in each book. I went, oh. And I thought, they'll wait and see if it's a bestseller, which it was. And I thought they're going to come back and do another book then.
Yeah.
But Bill left. I'm sure he's left. I said to Ian, I'll ring him up and see if I can get hold of Bill. Yeah. That book got the Book of the Week in the independent newspaper, mine.
Did it?
Yeah, so I've got thingies of it. Yeah.
So what year did that come out, that book?
It's about 8 years ago, isn't it? 9
years
years ago,
ago.
probably, yeah, I can't remember now. Long
And-
time back.
And you're going to now doing another book, is that
Yeah,
correct?
well, Ian and my family and all the people, they've always said, I know loads of people say, why don't you make a film of it? You know, they made a poxy film with Lenny, which would probably, well, everybody thought he said a load of crap, because Lenny didn't do it. His son Jamie did it.
Right.
Well, his son Jamie was the same age as my son, 12, when I was fighting like that. So, you know, what did he know what his father did?
Mm.
He couldn't, could he? He's only going on hearsay. Where, you know what I mean? Where, I mean, he's not about Lenny and that, so I can do it now. I'm the only one of the big three, as you used to call us.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is that something you'd like to do in the future, like a film, documentary, that type of thing?
Well, it might happen, it might not, mightn't it? I mean, he was on about Madonna's ex, what was his name?
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, doing it, he'd be out up his street and that. But he's gone off the boil, I think, hasn't he? But,
Yeah.
well, there's a few people interested, from America as well. But the shows with Mike Tyson, I was his celebrity guest at 4 shows with Mike. And he's called me the governor, in front of, in front of everybody. I was late to Cardiff Arena, and that's where I met Ian. And I was at Cardiff Arena, and I was late coming in for the meals, and a big place like it. And I all sat down, all the audience there. And he's coming in, and he's gone to me, and I went, yeah, I'm watching you as well, right? And he's at this end of the, and I go up on the stage, I sat there with some footballers and other ex-boxers, and then I was signing all sorts, fag packets, people were coming, oh, sign this, Lou, they hadn't got any paper, and then I heard, Governor, and I thought, Governor, and I turned around, and he's about 4 or 5 people up for me. He said, Lou's the governor, he's going. I got him round the neck at one place.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got behind him. I didn't know him. He sat there, and I was walking up and down, and Jimmy, the promoter, I went round him, and I went behind him, and got, boom, no, the stroke choking him, got him, I said, gotcha. And he went, oh, it's you, Lou. And I said, how do you know my name? He said, I was asking Jimmy, he said, who's that fellow? He said, he looks a powerful guy. And he said, oh, this is Lew Yates and that. So he remembered his name. And then his wife, Kiki, I think her name is, she was there and we joined him. We had a good talk, yeah, it was a good time. And when I was at the Cardiff Arena, I went into his room and all, because not being big-headed, but I was getting mobbed with people. I walked out with her and people were, oh, Lou, photographs, and sign this and sign that. And I remember going over to a stall where he was selling all Mike Tyson stuff. And he was saying, like, I said to one of the blokes there, he was something to do with boxing motor control. And he said to me, I said, oh, bloody. He said, no, you're a celebrity now, Lou. He said, I said, I'm getting pissed off with this. And so I went up there and started chatting to Mike, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's a photo in my book where he's holding he saw the photographer while he's reading the book, and he saw him, and he held the book up so you could see it. So he took that book, took loads of photos of me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to put them in me gym, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got on well. There was another before that, it was in Chelmsford, and it was a parade, like we were doing a show there at Chelmsford. Massive hotel thing it was. And that was when I put my arm around doing that. And it was the same night that David A was fighting that giant fella.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah? Remember that? And I said to him, I said, how do you get on with him, Mike? How do you fancy him? Said, I'll do him easy enough to do. He said, us short faces are the better. I don't forget that.
Yeah.
No, he was fine.
He was a powerful man in his day.
Oh,
wasn't he?
yeah, he was, yeah.
Very good fighter.
Oh, yeah, quick, wasn't he? He's quick, yeah. And
Do you want to tell them about Alan Castile?
Alan Castile, yeah.
Another crazy one won that match.
Yeah. Another story that wasn't in the book, which will be in this other one. Peter Costa, my thing, he knew all the faces around the East End and everything, Peter.
Yeah.
He run the doors at room and top. Really, really good man. A fantastic man. He's died now, but I'm in touch with Jan, his wife, and his son Joe, regular. And one night, Big John used to be my driver to drive me around different venues. I used to have him drive me around. You can't always get parked up in London, can you? So I'd get out and jump over the railings. I could do it then. Jump over the railings and run in the club and what's going on, pop, pop, pop. So same with Carlton when I caught him. He was on the bloody dance floor. Johnny Butler was stood here. And I went over and I said, Carl, I said, Johnny, I said, where's Carl? He said, look over there. He's on the dance floor. We're giving it all that. Right. So I got hold of him. I said, oi, what are you doing? Get on that door. You've been paid for being on that door. You're leaving your mate on his own. And it had a big row there before. I put them in because they'd been turned over. They'd been there for years. Yeah. Judo fellas and everything. But they got done with baseball bats and knives and ammonia and all that. And he walked away from it. So the people I was running after, another couple of clubs, they asked me, could I put somebody in? I said, well, it's last minute. Did you just come in the daytime? I said, bloody hell. I don't know, I'll try and get round. I had 36 men on my boots that I could get, but they're not all working. And sometimes they've got families and they'd have other arrangements, especially weekends. Yeah. So, anyway, I said, Dobbo, I said, he didn't turn up that night. I said, Dobbo, you're around the corner. You can go there, can't you? You know the faces, you can stop them. And I said, and Carlton's going and Johnny Butler. Yeah, all right. Carlton, he didn't turn up. I got a phone call. Dobbo's not turned up. This, that and the other. So I got Danny Chippendale, picked me up. Big Johnny weren't on that night for me. Picked me up and took me down to Stratford, and I jumped out of the car, run in, and then John was on the door, and that's when I said, where's Carlton? He's over, dragged him back to the door, went over to see the manager who's at the bar. And anyway, I said, what's happening here? He said, well, I don't know. I said, well, Carlton's on the bloody dance floor, is everything all right? So anyway, I went back. He'd gone again on the dance floor, Carlton. So I went and dragged him again, gave him a right bollock, and he didn't move after that. I said, you're leaving Johnny on his own. They fell out, I think, now. But, yeah, it was a funny bloody thing in a way, but, yeah, what was on about now? Castile, yeah. Well, Big John used to run me around in the car. He was about 6'6", Johnny Wacker, and he could whack a bit. But anyway, it was his 50th birthday. That was in Canning Town. You know, it's a fucking shithole place, isn't it? And all the Herberts there and all the, the thieves and everything. And I went with my mate, little Danny, armless little guy, shaving head. He said, I'll go up there, if you want to drink, Lou, because he don't drink, I'll come with you. I was in there and I was up the end of the bar and he's packed. And I knew the fella behind the bar, because I think he boxed as well, but I know his brother boxed on the unlicensed thing. And this fella was John, I can't think of his surname. And at the end of the bar, I saw these geezers, I kept looking, and they're all looking at me and smirking. Oh, these are bloody prats. So I said to Danny, I said, I think he'll go off for you, Dan. I said, I'll watch you back. He couldn't fight with a wet paper bag, Danny. Lovely, lovely guy, but weren't a fighter. I said, don't, Danny, you get slaughtered. You stay there. Anyway, next minute, he's tugging on my jacket. He said, are you not hot with your jacket on? I don't just walked in, really. I hadn't been in there half an hour. I said, whoa, I knocked his arm. Who the fuck are you, like? He's gone, what was it? Something or other. I said, well, you better bugger off like you, me. You're going to get slaughtered, mate. And he went. He went down the bottom. Next minute, I saw him on the dance floor and I thought, this is my chance. I went straight to it. I couldn't hold myself back. And he had his back to me. So I got his shoulder like that. Over the shoulder, pushed him round. He spun round, shirt open with a medallion and all that type of thing. You know? Stocky fella, well built fella. Spun him round like that. I said, come on. Pushed him right back. I said, let's have it. Come on. Come on. Let's. The lights went up. Johnny's coming in round. It's his birthday, innit? No, not in here, not in here. I said, well, he started all this. And then he got his mates got in, and they get big then, don't they? Mates said, stop it here, mate. Oh, nothing, let him go, come on. And then next minute I went back to the bar, he went. And then another chap, who's quite a tall fella, come over, he said, hey Lou, he said, I've got to tell you, he's going to go and get a gun and shoot you. I said, is that right? He said, yeah. I said, oh. Okay, I said, well, tell the bastard not to miss. Because if he misses, I'll kill him. He didn't go for the gun. But I saw him outside the toilets a bit later on, and I couldn't resist it again. I wanted to go to the toilet. I went to the toilet with the other mates, and I just grabbed him around the head. And I got him, I said, you bastard, I want to kill you, you know. And he didn't want to know none of his mates. And I thought they'd rush me in the bogs, but they didn't. I come out and they'd gone, all of them were gone. Yeah. But his name was a reputation, and Peter said, when I told him, I didn't know his name then. I didn't even know his name, didn't know him. And I said, I had trouble with this Johnny's thing, I said. Stocky fella, and all that. And I described him, and they told me, then that's Johnny, that's Alan Castile. He said, oh, he's got a reputation, like the family. Even the Crays, according to Peter, didn't want to go on their patch.
Oh, really?
No, a bit naughty. Yeah, Alan Castile. And he said that should have gone in the first boot. Peter was so disappointed. And people that were coming up to me, Lee, and saying, Lou, brilliant. I heard Castile back down with you and everything. Oh, what a nasty fella he is. I said, yeah, he wanted to get a gun and come and shoot me. You know what I mean? But obviously he didn't.
Yeah, no, it didn't come back. He's still here.
And then he had another one that pulled me out. These drinkers in the sex. And his dad used to drink up there, and about 3 or 4 of them. And he said, hey, Lou, he said, I've got my son just come back from Ireland, he said. He'd been in Ireland for 2.5 years or whatever. He said, this, that, he's trouble, he said, he's on gear and big blonde lad. I said, oh, Ray, his name was the fella. He said, don't let him in. I said, Ray, there's loads of big blonde lads. You may come in. I said, can't you pick him up? I didn't hear anything. It was about 18 months later. This lad come, it was late, early in the morning, about 1:30, and I'm on the door, and he's come up with, all right, mate, I want to talk to Kenty. And it wasn't Kenty, it was Kenny, the bloke who was running it then, who started it all, the treks. And I said, you want to talk to Kenty? There's no Kenty here, mate. Yes, there is. I said, yeah? I said, I don't know of him. He said, yeah. I said, you got the wrong man, mate. No, Kenty. He said, you bastard, I'm telling you. And he started getting a bit. I said, listen, I could see his eyeballs, you know, it was drugs as well as drink, whatever. I said, do yourself a favour, fuck off. Go. Go for your own sake. Go. And he went, and he took a few steps back, pulled his gun out, spun it like a cowboy on his thingy, pulled the magazine, pulled it in, it's a Walter 38, put it on me, he said, you're going to die, you bastard, you're going to die. I said, am I? And I'm pulling on on the exit doors,
Yeah.
Pulling on the bars. I thought, I'll get a bit of momentum. Unless he hits me in the head, the heart, I'll get to him, pop his eyes, do boom, boom, boom. And anyway, I said, you're going to shoot me then, shoot me. And I asked him 3 times, listen, I've asked you 3 times. You ain't going to shoot me. Put it in your pocket, mate, and he fell for it. Put it in your pocket. I said, listen, I haven't got an argument with you. Put it in your pocket. I just want you to come near me, you know what I mean? I said, get in here. if you try it, won't you let me in? I said, I'll let you in. But I said, do me a favour, don't pull that gun out up there. You're fighting people. You know, like that with him. He fell for it. As he come back, cracked him, broke his jaw. He's gone down, got the gun out of his pocket, smashed it over his head in temper. His head split wide open, dragged him round, put him on this, where the draymen dropped all the barrels, and he fell over. Next minute, I've gone upstairs with a gun, and I went to Kenny, hey, there's a pheasant here for you. Oh, is that really one? He said, and he'd been done for armed robbery. And he said, yeah, he said, I said, it's for you. Next minute, the old bill up somebody got a gun? I said, yeah, I've got it. And I told him what he went, and he picked up he put his finger up the spout of it, and the edge of it, run downstairs with it, sort of thing. Put it, another one opened the car door, the police door, and he put it on the front of the police door. Oh, when I took it off him, I went in the street and tried to fire it, and it was jammed. And I was going on and off with a thingy button. I don't know if I'd done it. I'm trying to fire the bloody thing in the street. Anyway, next minute, across the way where that bloke, the big bloke was that time, we come across and apologised to me. Les used to work in there as a bouncer come waiter. He went out the back and he seen this bloke crouching down. It was dark, you see. I said, what are you doing, mate? And he said, he stood up, he said, fucking big gun on his hand. He said, what are you doing? He said, police. He said, when we called me. He said, over there, incident over there. And they told me after, if they'd have come when he was at his thing, they'd just took him out.
Yeah. I just shot him straight away.
Yeah, and then he went round everywhere after that. They couldn't get nothing out of him because his jaw was wired up bad. And he tried to get me, subpoena me to court, but I said, no, listen, I had the argument with him. I didn't call you lot. It's over and done with as far as I'm concerned. He's come and stuck, boom, that's it. And it was 3 times he come down to going to subpoena me to court, yeah. But yeah, so he was okay boy. But he was telling everybody, yeah, I drink with LEW Yates in the Cauliflower in Ilford and this, that and the old LEW Yates is my friend. Bloody nutcase. I knew his dad, Caesar, worked at Room at Top as a waiter in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And his brother was a pot lad though, you know, collecting the pots. Yeah, he was a good lad, he was all right. But obviously he was a bit nutty and he was on the gear.
Yeah,
but
it changes people, doesn't it? That makes them think strange thoughts and act strangely.
Yeah.
Lou, what's been your hardest, toughest fight sticks out in your mind that you've had?
I'm trying to think of my wife. Which one? I had 2 of them. I lost to both of them on points. Oh dear. What street fights?
Yeah, either in a ring or on a door. Or what's been your toughest fight that sticks out in your mind?
I can't really. I never really got. I never got beat up in the ring or in the street. I never lost a fight in the street since I was 16. I've probably been lucky in lots of ways, but I was always very, very fit at one time. And even when I was overweight, you carry that over with you, don't you? And I was strong. I was very strong. But I can't really. There were so many. There was.
The blue go into one, didn't they? So
yeah, there was so many fights. I can remember down at Stringfellows down at Brighton, instance, and we had trouble with the gypsy lads, and this, and Neville was there, the karate fella, Neville Sheen, and the other karate, Big George, and all that, and this ginger-haired fella, and he was in the doorway, the reception bit. And he wasn't going to pay, and Neville said he won't say, he's just grunting and looking at me. I said, all right. He said, yeah. So I went over and said, hey mate, are you going out or what? He went, huh? I said, you going out? He went, huh? I went, bang! And down he went, dragged him out, and that was a funny thing. I just went like a bag of shit. And took him out and left him there. He didn't come back. But there was another time when Neville went out to fight out there with a one, and he hurt him bad, did Neville do, yeah. If game was anything, Neville. Oh yeah, he weren't the biggest fellas, but cool, he could fight and he's very, very fit. Oh yeah, he had, yeah, Neville, yeah. I still talk to him now and then. He's done well in business and everything. Yeah, he's, and there was another time, there was a big King of the Gypsies who come in. He used to do burn knuckle on the what do you call it, on the booze and that. And he made a beeline for me. So I don't know, I would just miss it off, and he was good, friendly. Hey Lou, and he'd come up, he was always whistling, and he'd come up and, where's Lou? If I wasn't there, I could hear him. Where's Lou? Where's Lou? Anyway, one night, this group of gypsy boys, there was a place where you could get a burger in the disco pit, right? And they won't pay for the burgers, right? They're knocking them for the burgers. So I said to the lads, well, we've got to get them out. We can't, you know what I mean? And they went, oh, there's too many of them. I said, we've got to get them out. He said, no. I said, you normally come and watch my back. And I went, and he didn't. I went over there. One was just there, the main one, snatched the burger off him, threw it over. I said, now fucking get out. I said, you're not fucking paid. Who else is not paid? And they sat and they all gathered around. There's so many of us. I said, give a fuck. I said, you and this, that and the other. And he's come in, not I didn't know, he come in and he said, where's Lou? And he said, he's over there with them. He's come over and he said, hey, you listen to the man. And they say, now fuck off as well.
He stuck up for you on your side.
Aye, he did, yeah, he's a good man. And he got killed a few months later, I think it was, back of a motorbike. In an accident, yeah. And I don't think he had the helmet on, probably. But he's a nice old fella, yeah, big lump. Yeah,
you also knew Big Joe Egan, didn't you?
Oh, Joe, yeah, I did shows with Joe, yeah. I did a big show with him in Birmingham. He's done an interview with Ian, and he said to me, I thanked him for it. Louis said, I love you to pieces, I love you to pieces. He said, I want you on my side in a row, I want you on my side of the row. And he said, first time I saw you, he said, you're like a fucking block. He said, fucking hell, he said. I look at the size of him, like, you mean, and he's up there, Joe, like, towards me. And, yeah, we hit it off. But he's give a good interview, hasn't he, Ian, of me, yeah. And, yeah, he said, I'm glad I'm friends with you, he's called. I'm glad I'm friends with you.
Look, can I just pick up, sorry, I keep going back to the voice short
right.
bit, but obviously I saw some photos of you sort of later on in life. So did you two sort of bury the hatchet later on down the...
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Did you ever talk about the fight and stuff between you? Or?
Well, yeah, my Billy was a rum, he's not here, bless him now.
Did you want to pick up on Vinny Bits?
Yeah. Why didn't you tell him about that time when you smashed up the house with the machetes after the doorman beat squid?
Oh, the doorman, yeah, that was at BG's on the A13, yeah. And we had a group of fellas coming. I was in the club and there was a couple of mad blokes on the door. Anyway, there was about 8 of them. And the manager went, Louis going to go off out the door. So I shot out. I was normally on the door all the time. Shot outside and we was arguing and this, that and the other. And they squirted up Bully, my mate, and he couldn't, his eyes were bloodshot, terrible after, with pneumonia and that. And I've gone out and they started trying to squirt me up. Gone in, got a machete. Oh no, I didn't, I hit him, that's right, I did a big fella. Hit him with the right hand. I thought, you'd have another one. He's going down on the wall like, boom. And boom, lifting him up. And this knuckle come back here, bumped up here like, see? And I fucking pushed it, crack, it went back in. Anyway, and they all legged it. And he said he's run the back over the back past the Henry Ford pub, up the streets there. Jump in the car, Lou, we go and get him. So I got this machete, and I went after him, right? And we caught one going into the house, and it was a council house, and but long garden. And he saw the car coming out, and I jumped out with my machete. He's trying to get the key in the door. He's panicking. He got in the door, slammed the door, and I just smashed the door, smashed all the front windows. There was screaming in there, smashed the window at the bottom of the stairs. I let them really have it. And then I kicked the door in, I think, and then his old man was back with a baseball bat. I said, come on out here, come on, I want to chop you up. Come on with your baseball bat. He wouldn't come out. And then the sirens were going. Somebody rung the old bell. So Barry or Gary, the twins.
Time to go.
Get in the car, Lou. We went in the car. Next morning, the flying squad went round there and said, we know that was Lou last night, what happened. But they was involved with a murder outside near Trexie, I think it was. I wasn't there that night for some reason. I was always there. I don't know why it was now. But anyway, three blokes, I think, got stabbed. One died, and it was a family of from Dagenham, Nelsons, and Johnny Nelson was up for murder. He walked away after about 12 months or something like that. I think he got the jury probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so he said, well, they was involved with that murder as well. So to tell Lou, he's the best doorman in London. He said, we're not going to nick him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't nick me, for smashing that house up.
It's lucky.
And that, we went down 6 months later, and they were still boarded up. I don't know if they moved them out, what? The house was still boarded up.
Didn't want to go back there.
No, but there's loads of things. I remember this, and he was an Irish based fellow, and he, after protection money, that was the same place. And he didn't know I was running the door there. And I've come out from, I don't know where it was, and the two twins are there, like the brothers who had it, Barry and Gary Day, still good friends of mine, very good friends. I went, what's going on here, lads? He said, they're on there with the long crombies, right? Think they're gangsters. I went, no, we have to, he said we'd look after the, I said, you can fuck off. They soon went. I'll never forget that, yeah.
They didn't come back either.
No, there was a do there, and we had a bad do, and they were going to burn it down, and I got one of my guns, a shotgun, 5-shot thing, and I slept overnight there for probably a week in an Ottenshire in the office, because in case they come back.
Yeah.
So I shot there with that across me all the time. And I could hear different noises at night time when everything's dead.
Yeah, every creak before it's in coming
yeah, you fucking bastards, he's trying to get in. Yeah. And so I chased one of them down. They laugh about this. One, I can't remember, one of the twins with a 303. I wanted them back and forwards. Forwards was at the back. They had all security cameras up there. I didn't realise. I've chased him out the club in the daytime, mucking him out. You're going to shoot him, I was going to shoot him with the 303, right? He's looking like, he's gone, there's cameras everywhere, look. So I went back in, but nobody must have seen me.
That's the tape got thrown in the bin, that one.
We had a few shots down in that passageway going down to it. Shooting the shotgun down there. Trying a shotgun out, down the passageway in the daytime. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. I carried that 303, went off in my car as I'm driving.
Oh,
I had one jammed up the spout, right? And I'm went straight through my car. Where it went, I don't know. I in Dagenham. I was bang! Oh, what the bloody hell was that? And I thought, is that a gun? Hell of a bang. Yeah. And I carried on driving, like it wasn't me. And he gone right through my side of my car, out through my wing.
Like you didn't go out and hit someone.
I know. In Dagenham and all. He must have gone into a wall or something.
You led quite a colourful life, Lou.
I flogged them after. I flogged them off to a bricklayer fellow in New Ireland, he bought them, and we got caught. I was delivering them a couple of gallons of ammonia for somebody, baseball bats, machetes, and I was delivering them, right? I was in the car. I was also making skipping boats, really expensive skipping boats on the laser and that. And I've met Freddie Bottom, my mate Freddie, he's poorly now. And I picked him up at the, in, I don't know what it's called now, the pub. I picked him up from this pub in Chadwell Heath, and I took him down to the Thatched House, I think it's called, in on the A13. And we went down there, and Freddie's well alight. He's drinking, I don't drink, see, so Freddie's well alight, and I took her into Barry, what's his name? Fought for England several times. And he'd ordered these skipping ropes, right? Then he used to put them on the wall. It was a beautiful thing, all done in brass and done stamped and everything. And anyway, as I'm coming out, the old Bill come past in a Land Rover, and they had no taxi in the window. One red light was dodgy, right? I had another bulb in it, taped inside, right? I was on hard times then. I was ill, and I got out of there and I looked round. I looked in my mirror and the brake lights come on. I said to Freddie, put your bloody seatbelt on. I said they're going to come after us, and they did. And I went round under the 13, round the roundabout, going up the main road there, and I had a bloke in a red estate. It was a Ford estate. He went on the pavement, so I slowed right down. He got on the pavement, on the wide pavement. I went down, and then I turned off left at the lights before this other pub. I can't think of the name of that. And he was about 50 yards or so behind me. I went up there and they followed me. I said, they'll stop us here. You know
it's coming, don't you, when they turn around?
Anyway, the old lights come on, but they didn't come near me. They were so, oh, bloody hell, 50 feet, 60 feet behind me. So I jumped out. I said, you stay there, Freddie, because you're pissed. I went out and I got out and I run down to him. And he let me get out, What are you stopping me for? And he was younger than the one about 40 odd. I said, what are you stopping me for? Well, he said, this car's registered to somebody in Cambridgeshire. I said, yeah, me. He said, what are you doing from Cambridgeshire? I said, what, is that a criminal offence then, coming from Cambridgeshire? Stupid bugger. And he's gone, you've been drinking? I went, yeah. Oh, his eyes lit up then. He said, yeah, you've been drinking? I said, yeah, I have, yeah, officer, yeah, I've been drinking. Oh, do you mind blowing in this now? Not at all. So, anyway, with that, Freddie crawls out the dinghy, going up, Gee, this fucking bloke he's on about me. He's the best fucking thing, he'll fucking kill you. He said, I said, oh, shut up, Freddie, for God's sake. Right? And I've got these guns and that in the back of the car.
You don't want to be searched.
A couple of tyres that were dodgy. And I was just unloading them the next day, you see. And he shouted, you knock one out, Lou, and I'll knock the other out. Well, he could hardly walk. Anyway, and the younger went, you blowing this? I went, yeah, and the older one got out the driver's side. And I went, blew in it. He said, well, nothing come up on this. He said, you sure you've been drinking? I said, yeah, I've been drinking. What have you been drinking then? I said, cups of tea. I said, you didn't ask me if I was drinking alcohol, did you? I said, drinking cups of tea, I was drinking.
I bet his face dropped with that one.
Oh, yeah, he would, yeah. And he said, where are you going now? I said, dropping my mate off. He's drunk, as you can see. I said, drop my mate off. All right, and let me go.
But you sweated then, didn't you? A bit of relief.
A little bit. But when I got out and I drove up the road, I said, I'm going to drop me now. He's going back in another pub then. He could hardly walk. He said, drop me here at the pub. In fact, he ended up running that pub. He got out. I said, watch them. They go up the island and they come back round. I don't want them up my backside, right? So stay there till pretend we're talking. Let them come. And they did. They come back round and went down to the lights. Yeah. Turned right. And I thought they might be waiting down. But anyway, Freddie went. And I went down to the lights. They weren't about. Went up there on the M11. Straight down and parked up near my mother-in-law's. Off the Red Bridge roundabout, yeah.
There's another close shave.
They'd have had me for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd have been it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So Lou, I've got your first book here, Wild Thing.
Yeah.
That's to buy on Amazon, but you're currently writing a second book, is that correct?
Second book, yeah.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, it's called My Life in My Words. and hopefully that'll come out in the next few months, probably, with a bit of luck. And it'll be good. There's things that weren't in the first book.
Yep.
So hopefully, yeah, everything will be fine. But it'll be good. Yeah, it's put plenty in it.
Lou, you've also got a Facebook page, is that correct? So if
Yeah.
people want to follow you on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah, you can get me on Facebook, yeah.
And the name of that is the Lew Yates?
Lew Yates, just Lew Yates, Lew Wild Thing Yates.
Lew Wild Thing
Yeah,
Yates.
yeah.
So have a look on Facebook, get behind him, show Lew some support. So for new updates on Lew's new book, please follow his Facebook page at Lew Yates, My Life is My Word. Check him out, follow this guy, and get behind him, give him some support. We'll start to wind it up there then, Lou.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for coming.
Nice,
Much
a pleasure
appreciated.
to meet you.
Lovely, thank you very much.